Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I have some projects to show you today. Actually, well, it's technically one big project. It's all for one customer. And sorry, let me gather my thoughts here. All right, so these are all going to a gentleman named Benjamin. Benjamin asked me originally for a sheath for his Spyderco paramilitary 2, and in combination with this Olight I35 EO3, I think it is, or what is it? Let me just read it to you. I5T EOS. I've got the two smaller versions of this same line, and man, I didn't even know about this light. This is really cool. Obviously, it's the copper version. So he asked for this combination done in black basket weave with Cryptek red Kydex. Originally, we were going to do black. Well, I'm not actually sure what we were going to do for the base color, but we were going to do leather dyed red, I think, as the locking, over the locking mechanism. But then he changed his mind and asked for the Cryptek. So I think it's a better decision personally. I do love doing leather over Kydex, but for me anyway, it doesn't quite hit me in the feels when it's just like on the lock. So that's just my personal opinion. But comment down below, let me know what you think of that. Definitely done a handful of them with leather over the lock, and they do look cool, but to me it's just not quite the same. So I don't know. Opinions down below, please and thanks. But this is really cool. This is sort of a standard item in my lineup. You guys see this kind of thing on the channel all the time, but just in case you haven't seen it, you're not familiar, more or less the gist of it is with most folding knives that have at least an opening hole, thumb studs, maybe a thumb disc on them, I can get the Kydex to manipulate the blade such that as you draw the knife out, it will automatically deploy the blade. If all you have is a flipper on your knife, chances are pretty good that I won't be able to do it, but it's kind of a case-by-case basis with flippers. So if you're interested in something like that, definitely let me know. But the Paramilitary 2, by far, this is the most popular folder for which I do any kind of sheath. And there's no surprise in that. The PM2 is just such a great knife. It for a long time was my favorite folder. Now a Manix 2 is my favorite right now, but this is still just right up there. It's just a great all-around EDC. So okay, as you look at this, it has an upper layer. You can see it wrapped around the back. It is wrapped on this side, but it doesn't actually perform any functions. That's just aesthetic. And half the reason why I don't have it wrap all the way behind is to save a little bit of thickness. It keeps it a little lower profile. If that were in there, this would be about 1/8 of an inch thicker. So we try to avoid that if we can. On this side, however, this is actually a lock. So if you guys aren't familiar already with Kevin Robinson and TIE Tactical, TIE Tactical, please go check him out. He invented this fold over lock, I think is what he calls it. And he was gracious enough to give me permission to use it in my work. So that's what I've done here. Basically how it works is it squeezes the black layer together so that the knife is kind of pinched and cannot just easily escape. With enough pressure, enough force, you can absolutely overcome that lock. However, it's going to be difficult to do. So really, it's not on there as a total fail-safe, but as a security measure, as a preventative. You could call it theft prevention. You could call it loss prevention. If you accidentally whack it on something, it's not likely to jostle free the way it would if the lock wasn't there. How to use this? You literally, it's the same motion to lock and to unlock. You push away from your body. You can hear it click. And at that point, you just draw the knife out. And it's going to flick that blade out for you. I'm going to do it really slow so you can kind of see it. Sometimes with a slow deployment, it's not going to have the momentum to get the blade out all the way, but you'll understand the mechanic and how that works. So as you start to pull, you're going to want to go down this way as well as sort of rotate your wrist, because it's really all about separating the butt of the handle from the tip of the blade. So down and separate. And even like that, you can see when the knife escapes, the blade is almost fully open. So with just a little bit of momentum, it's going to scream right open and lock out. You'll definitely want to practice with this. There is a sweet spot where, well, there's a pretty wide range where it works, but if you check it out, I'm going to go real slow, no full deployment. I also did not rotate my wrist. I'll do it slow with a rotation. So even slow with a rotation, it works pretty good. Super fast, works really good. I have had it happen before though, just as a heads up. where I'll go really fast and it actually opens and then bounces back before the lockup can engage. So it's just like too much force sometimes. So you just want to go at it like a nice, comfortable pace. But for the most part, it's going to work regardless. So that's that. Obviously, the flashlight holder on here, super basic. This is his flashlight, like I said. He did not send it with the pocket clip on it, but I would recommend putting the pocket clip on. However, I decided to make it, just in case maybe he lost the pocket clip or something, or just doesn't like it, I decided to make it hold pretty tight so it's not going to get lost on you. You definitely still have to manipulate it, but it can be put in either way. This is a good symmetrical diameter all the way down. There's no taper on it, so you can put it in and pull it out either direction. Does not matter, and it's going to stay in there nice and secure. So okay, that was a little bit of a ramble there, but this is the PM2 and i5T EOS flashlight. Moving on to the next thing. This was a really cool one. So I had done a project, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, I want to say, for a customer, and he had asked for a pair of Leatherman Raptor shears, which are the trauma shears, and an Olight flashlight. I think it was the S2R baton or something like that. And I had done it. I'd put the two together on another Kydex plate that was kind of bent to fit the curvature of the hip, and then put some Alti clips on that. Well, this customer, Benjamin, my customer here for this project, asked me to kind of do a similar thing. The only differences are the flashlight of choice, as well as that he wanted his trauma shears already collapsed, whereas on the other one they were open. So that makes the system a little bit more compact since it's collapsed. The other big thing is that instead of doing a Kydex plate, what I chose to do was use this product from Matchpoint USA. I honestly can't remember what the... Apologize, guys. I'll probably put it in the description box. If I don't, forgive me. Sometimes I'm bad about that when I upload videos. I forget to include some of the details that I promise. But Matchpoint USA makes a lot of these kind of universal carriers. The TAC amp, there's, I don't know, PTL loops, which are similar to like pull the dot snaps, but they don't have an actual snap on them. They kind of like thread through, and they look really cool, really easy to use. So anyway, Matchpoint makes a lot of really great stuff, and they had reached out to me and kind of, talked me into checking out some of their products. I really just hadn't looked at them before, but they do make some really great stuff, and I am super pleased and super impressed with this particular piece. So guys, if you're looking for a way to mount like multiple pieces to, this is all going to come with kind of a disclaimer. I personally don't like Alti clips outside the waistband, but if you're going to do it, you need to put 2 Alti clips on there so that it can properly bear the weight and stay balanced, because Alti clips don't actually anchor anything. They only anchor things. They don't actually stabilize it. So it's going to grip the fabric, and then it's still going to be able to wobble like this. There's nothing that's going to prevent that. So when you have something like that you're looking at, putting multiple pieces on one plate, that maybe you want to do it with the Alti clip, this is a really great option. If you want to just thread your belt through it, look at that. It comes with really good wide slots. I think those are 1 3/4, maybe even 2 inches. So most belts are going to fit through that. If you wanted to mount it on a tech lock and have multiple pieces, you could definitely do that. The grid here, this is way tighter than anything that you're going to be able to get on Kydex. If I were to do this to a piece of Kydex, it would be super flimsy, and it would crease on you. It would break. It's just not really an option. So I'm going to start using these a lot more. I just think it's a great product, and I wanted to kind of give Matchpoint a shout out for that. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this, but I think this is a great option. The other thing it does, is it has some flexibility to it. It's rigid, but it's flexible. I know it's kind of it's a little bit contrary for me to say, but it's really solid, but it's not unflexible, whatever. You know what I'm saying. It tends to keep its form. So if you put some Alti clips on this and then put that on your fabric, if your fabric is really rigid, durable, like a pair of jeans maybe, this will probably actually stay bent right to whatever the curvature of your hip is. Whereas if you put it on maybe scrubs, I'm not sure, sweats, probably not. Certain fabrics are just going to be too flexible to work with this. to perfectly curve. It's going to work. It just might not actually curve to your body. But I think you're going to see a lot of really easy use with this. So I'm a big fan, and I really think that this particular setup is cool. One of the biggest things I like about this, best parts about this, is that you have, so he had kind of sent me a picture of the angle that he wanted this all to ride at. If I got that angle wrong, he can easily undo these screws. They're Phillips head screws, and he can change the angle. You can find so many angle combinations that work. You can cheat the angle a little bit, so if it's just slightly off, you can still make it work. And you can obviously reconfigure this, place things just about anywhere you want. You can change the ride height of the Alti clips. This is just really awesome, guys. So anyway, let me know what you think down below. But personally, I'm going to tell you, this is stronger than Kydex. This whatever, you know, I can just kind of feel it. You're going to get more durability out of this than if I were to do machining to a piece of Kydex to make it look like this. As well as comes pre-manufactured. It's not an expensive piece. If I were to do this to a piece of Kydex, I'd have to charge you an arm and a leg because it would take me forever to do it. Whereas I could just buy this off, you know, it's like everything about it I really like. I kind of wish they would come up with a smaller version, maybe about half the size, but that's something I'm gonna reach out to them about and see if they're thinking about doing. So anyway, all right, he did not specifically request a lock on this. This is in Hexcam Pompeii. It's like the word Pompeii, but with two I's at the end. So Pompeii, I'm not sure. Somebody correct me. But yeah, it's really cool Hexcam color. He asked for, obviously, this combination. I decided to put a lock on it because since the shears are folded up, I thought maybe it would be a cool option. And I also blocked it out really well. It came out really nice. So you can actually, if you decide you don't like the lock, Benjamin, just leave the lock undone. These are still in there pretty secure. But when you want to draw them out, they're really easy to draw. They're also really easy to put back. And you can feel when they click in place. It's just all around. I'm really happy with how this came out. Now, when you do lock it up, you can lock this up. You don't have to worry. You can just kind of put your fingers on the face of it and then pinch that with your thumb and it'll go in. And when it does lock up, you know, you can still draw it out with enough force, but honestly, you're probably going to pull your pants down first. It takes an awful lot of force. So just really happy with how that came out. The flashlight, same kind of deal. Pretty light retention. You're not going to need a lot for it. Pocket clip doesn't really matter too much, but I like it on. You can put it in there upside down like so. I personally like it the other way, but it does hold pretty good. So yeah, do what you got to do with that. All right, and now, I know this is already a longer video than I intended, but we're going to get into the two pieces of this project that I liked the best. And these are a couple of custom knives from Carter. And I apologize, I don't know anything about Carter. I don't know what the blade steel is. I don't know any of his other work, his or hers or theirs. I don't know who's running this company. I do know, however, that these are really nicely made. They're very comfortable. They're very sleek. I like the designs a lot. Check this out. These like Warncliffe style blades. Well, actually, I think they'd technically be a sheep foot, but man, these are just really cool. So let me know what you think of these knives down below. And Benjamin, if you want to comment and give us a little more insight into this maker, that would be really cool. Let us know anything about these particular knives, as well as you know, some more about Carter in general. All right, so he asked if I could make a couple necker sheaths, a couple pancake style necker sheaths, but he wanted them wrapped in alligator hide. So we've got black alligator hide on this one with the, I think he said this was like an oak handle or black maple or something like that, but really came out nice. I love the look of this. This is real alligator. It's not embossed cowhide. Sometimes you find embossed cowhide, and you know, some of it's still quality cowhide that's just embossed to look like gator. Some of it is really crappy cowhide that's embossed and doesn't really look like gator. This is actual American hornback alligator skin. It's just super rugged. It feels awesome. You get all the best benefits of leather, but with the extra durability of alligator. So huge fan. So this one with the black, and then this guy, I think he said was mango wood. and he wanted a dark, well, he wanted brown. So I chose a dark brown, and you can kind of see, I know on camera it's kind of showing up a little more on the black side, but you can definitely see the brown in it. I just think, man, that just looks so nice. I love that color, and I love gator. So these are pretty simple. They're just pancake style sheaths, and they are on paracord necklaces. He also asked if I could do them. The reason you see the asymmetry with the cord is because he asked me if I could make them hang at an angle. I think that you probably can. He wanted them to kind of tilt just ever so slightly this way, and I'm not the authority on honestly on how to hang the knives on doing any kind of paracord work. I'm just kind of pretty amateur with that. So I've got them like this, asymmetrical. They don't really seem to be hanging differently. So I'm not totally sure how to overcome that. But the good news is that they still get a good grip with them. You definitely don't have to use the thumb ramps, but you definitely can. You can just kind of grip it like this. What I'm doing is I'm putting my 3 fingers here and getting right up into that finger groove. And then I'm putting my 4-finger right there. Now check it out. I'm going to draw. I'll do it this way so you can see. Where's my 4-finger? It's right above that choil, that forward choil. So you don't have to worry about cutting your finger unless you put your finger really far forward. But that's all I'm doing. I cut this groove there just for you to have a guide for your finger so you can draw and immediately be in that forward choil. So a grip it and rip it draw is probably what I would choose, just because the handles on these are kind of short, and based on where I had to get retention, the sheath had to come up pretty high. So there's only really room for 3 fingers. You can do your first 3 and leave your pinky off, and then you'd be really in a good spot to use the thumb ramp and then readjust if you want to. Personally, I'd just be up that far on the knife anyway for 99% of what I'm doing. So that guide there for your finger will keep you from getting injured. Same thing goes for this guy, obviously. Finger guide there. And again, it's not a lot of room. It's kind of uncomfortable to be all the way up on there and then try to get your thumb backward to go for that, but you can do it. But yeah, both of these have great retention. They've got ballistic one-handed draw, just really smooth click in. I just love how these came out. And of course, alligator skin is my ultimate, it's my favorite option. You guys have seen me doing a lot of gator in the last couple weeks. So I've been on cloud 9 because I love working with alligator skin. So guys, comment down below. Let me know what you think of all this stuff. I think these are all really cool projects. Benjamin came up with just a small pile of stuff for me to do, and I was really happy with how all that came out. I also really think that these are all functional and fun, and just great projects to work on. So Benjamin, I hope you like all your stuff, brother. And guys, for anybody who has any input on Carter or on any of this gear, if you have opinions you want to share down below, or you want to comment about what you think of the setups, the colors, whatever else, let me know. I'm most interested to know who's digging this alligator skin, because it is getting a lot more popular with my orders. I'm getting a lot more people inquiring about it. Just be forewarned, if you're thinking about getting alligator skin, it is expensive. So be ready for a pretty hefty price tag. I don't overcharge on the gator. I really try to be very conscious about not overcharging, but you have to bear in mind that the stuff is really hard to work with and it's expensive material. So I just have to make sure that I cover my expenses and give you guys the best price I can without shortchanging myself, obviously. So, all right, guys, comment down below. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you like the channel, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around, guys. God bless.